and Scotty, Milan and Gypsy. This is Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. Alright, I'm done. I can't do that anymore. I can't keep that up. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen and sexy humans around the world. My name is Scotty Milan. I'm here with my host, Good Time Greg on my left, Engineer Gypsy on the right.
Hello.
And this is Being Human.
Word.
Being Human. It is Wednesday night, my favorite night of the... Oh, are we doing that?
Nah.
Nice. There we go. Yo, do you know Rozelle, right, Gypsy? Obviously. Come on. Come on. Right? So you know when he does the if your mother only knows. All right, check this out. Ready? Watch this real quick.
Yeah.
If your mother only knew. If your mother only knew. If your mother only knew. That's the Rozelle thing.
That's pretty dope.
Do I sound weird to you? I sound like muffled and fuzzy. No?
Nah, you sound good.
I sound clear?
You sound
you're
great.
very clear.
Maybe it's my headphones or something? All right.
I don't know. You seem good.
Anyway, so
Let's get it.
everybody, tonight is Wednesday night. This is Being Human. I'm your host, Scotty Milan. How's everyone out there doing? Greg,
What's happening?
how is it going, man? You look so smooth with those glasses.
Thanks,
Are you
bro.
sure you don't want to be handsome, Greg?
I feel smooth.
Because you look like you should be handsome, Greg, with those
I
glasses.
moisturized this morning.
Oh, yeah?
No. Good
Between
time, Greg,
the
bro.
butt.
How many times do I gotta tell you? What?
Between the butt.
Between
Did
the
you
butt?
moisturize the butt?
Oh yeah, I had to put some like anti-itch cream. That's why it's a little.
Oh,
No.
your herpes acting up
You're
again?
sick, bro. You're sick.
You know, I don't have herpes, but my crabs do,
Word.
said Greg yesterday.
All right.
What'd you do this weekend, man?
What did I do?
Yeah.
I don't remember again. You asked me this last week. Crap, dude. I've been in class all week.
Dude,
It's
just make something
Wednesday.
up. Oh my God, please.
No.
2 weeks in a row. Two
Oh,
weeks in a
shoot.
freaking row. I'm like, what'd you do this? Let's get this sorted. What'd you do,
chose-
Greg? I'm
I
trying
don't
to sound all cool and like natural.
Listen, I get
And
one
he
day
says, I don't
off a
remember.
week. It's Saturday, so my weekend is one day. What did I do with my one day? I hung out with my girlfriend.
Well, then say
cooked
that,
dinner.
man. Just
I
start.
just forgot for a second. We cooked dinner.
Can we start over? All right,
Juicy
hold on. Ready?
steaks that I bought at Fairway.
Yo, Greg, what'd you do this weekend, man?
Oh my
You have a
God,
good
Sky,
weekend?
you wouldn't believe what I did this weekend, dude. I went to Fairway. I bought me some nice juicy chops. We cooked them up on the grill. Man, it was good.
Nice.
Yeah. How's that?
Medium rare, right? That's the only way to eat them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, baby, I like it medium rare.
Yeah.
What'd you do this weekend, Gypsy?
I was at the golf course all weekend. I was just
Ooh.
working and shit. So
Working?
Yeah.
Oh, not playing golf?
No, I wish. I was on the other side of the bag. As I said.
Caddying?
Caddying. I was carrying. So,
Nice.
But it was cool. I actually met one of the original founders and creators. He worked in a program department of MTV in the 80s.
Okay.
Yeah.
When they actually used to have something to do with music.
He was the one that came up with the slogan, "I want my MTV."
Really?
Yeah.
He's a billionaire. Kind of.
You met him? He's really rich.
Yeah.
Where's he at?
He's a member at the course that I work at.
Oh, nice.
So,
Which golf course you work at?
there's one in Scarsdale. I'm not gonna drop
Yeah.
any
Right,
names.
no.
I know exactly which one you're talking about, I think.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
There's
I don't
two
even
big
know the name
ones.
of it, but I have friends that work there. You might know them.
Probably do.
So anyway, I went to a wedding this weekend.
Right, we forgot to ask you.
And
What do you do,
yeah,
Scott?
you were supposed to ask me too.
Sorry.
I'm like,
You're selfish, bro.
come on, man.
You just
I
wanna
went to
talk
a
about
wedding this
yourselves.
weekend. I witnessed two of my friends join together in holy matrimony under the eyes of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Amen.
In a church. It was fun, man. It was
Baby
good
Jesus.
stuff. Yeah, I was in on a church on Arthur Avenue. Super Ginzaloon wedding.
Wow.
You know, it's just the way it is. That's what we do. You know?
No doubt.
You know, I mean, I'm Italian. I'm not that Italian, you know. So like, I don't know all this kind of stuff. I'm like third generation Italian American.
Do
you know.
you
so-
during the holiday season? Do you do Feast of the Seven Fishes?
yes, that we do.
What's
That
your
we
favorite
do.
fish?
Bronzino.
All right.
My aunt up in Fishkill is
That's made up. There's no such thing. Fish called bronzino.
Italian sea bass.
Branzino.
Italian sea bass called Bronzino.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a
Learn
silver
something new
fish,
every
though.
day.
Yeah, man. Don't try to call me out, bro. Don't try to call me out on my 7 fishes, bro.
Right? Don't call it comeback, bro.
My aunt that lives up in Fishkill, she is an amazing cook, man, and she cooks us our 7 fishies on Christmas Eve, and it's awesome.
Nice.
But yeah, no, I never had any like Italian kind of culture thing growing up, except for eating spaghetti and shit and 7 fish dinners and stuff like that, and so like my girlfriend is way more Italian than I am. She's straight up Sicilian. She speaks Italian and everything.
Dude, same with my girlfriend.
So yeah. See, I don't speak Italian or anything like that. I'm very
Sicilian,
Americanized, We're like, my family's like Olive Garden Italians.
Right. Kind of fast food.
I'm exaggerating. I know Olive Garden sucks. I would never go there. But like,
Don't say that.
Like my girlfriend and her family and her friends, they're all like from Arthur Avenue.
Right.
But back before it was Little Albania.
Gotcha.
No, when it was still Little Italy, and they're all like, they know all the restaurant owners everywhere and everything. So it was pretty good, man. Yeah.
Tables had cloth on.
But yeah, not the red and white checkered cloth. I took my son to Full Moon Pizza for the first time. That was good.
Where is that?
Yeah, on
It's
Arthur
in
Avenue.
Little Italy, right?
On Arthur Avenue, yeah. Little Italy. But yeah, I never had like the Italian culture thing going on. But yeah, so we were at this wedding. It was a good time, the little ceremony, the rings and all that stuff, the priest, the Catholic priest in the Catholic church with the Jesus hanging up on the cross and everything. And Jesus had a sick body, by the way. Like, dude was ripped.
You did CrossFit?
Dude was ripped.
Oh my God.
Oh, yes! Greg with the zingers. Oh my God. Oh my God, this is fun.
That's funny.
And we're safe because we're talking about Christianity, so it's not like anyone's gonna like complain, what I'm saying, or like threaten us.
Right.
This is safe. This is cool. We're okay. We're still in the PC area. But you know what? It got me thinking. So, talking about culture and customs and courtesies and all this kind of stuff, right? There are a lot of things that we do in America and in other parts of the world and in different cultures. That are completely, absolutely, 100% normal to everybody, right? Complete normal behavior, normal customs, courtesies, ceremonies,
like handshaking,
rites of passage, things like that, such as weddings. That to me are like weird.
Why are they to you weird?
I don't know. I don't
you really
know why
think
they're
like
weird.
this?
I really do. Yeah,
So
really do.
name something. What was
Don't get
weird that
offended
you
by that
experienced?
question.
Okay, well, so not only things that are weird. So let's talk little things, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Customs. Common customs and courtesies, okay?
Sure.
Someone tells you, oh, my uncle died yesterday, and your knee-jerk reaction is to say,
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
okay, I don't do that. I feel weird saying that. I think
Really?
it's weird to say that.
Okay.
Because I'm not sorry. I didn't do anything. I didn't kill your uncle. I'm sorry.
It's a military
But-
thought.
Like
They teach you that
I
in
say,
boot camp.
I go, oh man, that's terrible. And you know what? If you ask somebody, and I've talked to people and
Yeah.
read things that people have written about, someone who loses a child.
Right.
When someone says, oh, I'm sorry, there's like, shut up. Like, I'd rather you say nothing, because that's like such an empty sentiment. And if I don't say it, it's not because I'm being a dick. It's because I don't want to give you empty words
I had
that you
the
know
same
are
discussion
bullshit.
with my girlfriend like 2 weeks ago when we were hiking in the woods. She said that she was sorry about something. I was like, don't say you're sorry. I'm like, what is that?
Yeah, it's an empty sentiment. It means nothing. It's a knee-jerk reaction. The only reason why you say it is because you think you're supposed to say it.
Right.
Right.
Well, I'm going to take it one step further. I kind of had an epiphany. I realized if you tell someone, I hope you die, it's not bad. If you told someone that I want you to live forever, that's hell, dude. That is actually hell. And you're going to die anyway. So if I tell you, Scotty,
I want you to die someday.
Right. I'm not really saying anything that like fucked up.
Gypsy, man, I
always
wish
a
you would
lateral
fucking
option,
die
isn't
one
there?
day.
Thank you.
Right.
Gypsy. Thank you.
I mean, obviously, when you say that to someone, the intent is that you hope it happens immediately.
Right.
But just by saying that, it's just like, I'm not really offended.
Yeah, I just, you know what? I have this kind of like visceral reaction to it, though, where I'm not consciously thinking, oh, I'm not gonna say that. It's kind of like it would be unnatural of me to say it, right? Trying to like maybe console somebody when they're sad. You have your little lines you're supposed to say.
Right.
Oh, it's okay. Give me a hug. To me, I'm like, that's what anybody would do just because they think that that's what they're supposed to do.
Right.
you know, and I don't feel genuine about it. I feel the same way. There's a lot of different like social media, maybe in pop culture. Maybe it's just a thing that's unique to today. There's a lot of little social media kind of customs and courtesies and just reactions we do to people.
What do you mean social media customs?
Okay, so saying happy birthday to somebody on Facebook, I think is weird. Especially if I didn't know that it was your birthday,
right.
and I only know
it's
because
fake,
Facebook
right?
told me.
You think it's cheap?
That's so not genuine.
Yeah,
you know
but I mean, you could always write it down your calendar.
380 people that I haven't seen in,
I think Greg's got
25
a point, though.
years.
Facebook is now just your new calendar. So
Yeah, but come on, when someone you
like it's
haven't
a new
seen in 25
convenience.
years writes "Happy birthday, Gypsy!
Right.
I
It's
hope you have
just a
such a great
convenience.
day," and it's like the kid who bullied you in 8th grade.
Right. No,
Like,
I'm with you.
come
I'm
on,
totally
man.
with you. I mean, people that like I've had it happen plenty of times. People I've never met, I don't even know, and they're just like happy birthday, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, when the fuck did we even become friends on Facebook?
Yeah, I just feel like if I didn't know it was your birthday, it's for a reason. And now if I go out there and happy birthday, man, hope it's a great day. It's just it's lying. I'm lying to you.
Yeah, it's true.
None of this is me being a dick. It's actually me trying to be the most honest kind of person I can and have some kind of integrity, you know?
I got one for
If
you.
that makes me weird, I'm sorry.
I got one for you guys. Presidential turkey pardons.
Weird.
Fucking weird.
What is
Yeah.
a presidential turkey pardon?
Every
On
year at
Thanksgiving,
Thanksgiving,
Oh, party?
the president pardons a turkey to not be killed.
Excuses it
for-
from getting killed for being a turkey
Yeah.
for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Like weird shit like that, man. It's just like, come
pretty
on.
dumb.
You know, some kind of tradition.
Let me ask you something. Do you know about the cultural differences between greeting and why? I know in America,
Greeting?
I feel like in America we shake hands and firm is appreciated. Where other countries, it's kind of like
Oh, in Japan, you don't touch
kinda-
each other at all.
you don't touch
Right.
each other.
Right.
But I feel like that the handshake, a firm handshake, represents America's, metaphorically. It's all about,
Europe
like,
too,
you know, like,
right?
who's
Europe,
who's
Western
tough,
European
who's strong, all
countries.
that.
Exactly. If you give me
yeah.
a firm handshake and I think you could break my hand, that means you can beat me. So that means.
Oh no,
you know
definitely.
what I mean?
It's definitely like a power and dominance and kind of like a
Primal.
leadership
Right.
thing. You know, having the upper hand. That's
Literally,
literally what
right?
that means.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But things like that, like what the hell, man? Like in little cultural, customary things that we don't even think of, right? Like what was it, Reagan that went to another country and sat with his legs crossed?
Yep.
In that country, you're
Yeah.
not supposed to show people the soles of your
Your feet. I was literally just about
right?
to say that one.
So
Yep.
they were so disrespected by that,
Right.
right? But
Yeah,
and it's
Richard
things that we
Gere,
don't
he
even
kissed
think about.
he kissed a talk show host one time on the cheek in another country, I think India, and he received death threats because of doing that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But meanwhile, if you go to Italy, you're getting a kiss on both cheeks.
Both cheeks and and the butt. What?
Yeah, but by men
Hey,
though.
No, I'm
maybe.
just drinking. My bad.
By anybody.
Yeah, by anybody.
You know?
But that's weird. Like as you know, as an American male, and I go to Italy, you know, and you
wanna be
have an
kissing
older Italian man, and he's generally happy to see me. Maybe it's the uncle of a good friend of mine. And he goes to go in for the double kiss. It'll be
You're like,
my
yeah.
first double kiss
Well,
from an older man.
well, you
That's
know
a
what
little
now?
weird.
No, here's the thing. If you're in Italy,
Yeah.
I would say you have no other choice but to follow their custom.
I agree with you.
Now, where I have a problem is that when people come here,
Yeah.
and we still have no other choice but to follow their custom.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
That I disagree with, and that I.
But where are we? And I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Where are we forced to do someone else's custom?
Forced?
Yeah, you just said that.
Well, I mean, especially in 2016, you know, we're seeing a lot of people that are not from our culture coming in
Right.
to our country, and I don't mean our country, you know what I'm saying, to this country, to America, and we kind of have to bend over backwards to make them feel comfortable.
I think sometimes it's capitalism, though, because like, all right, for example, like the biggest one is probably like in a lot of restaurants, like you like, damn, there's a menu in English and Spanish. They're just trying to make money.
That's true, but how about now? Did you hear about? I want to say it was in Pennsylvania or Kansas. I could be wrong. Somewhere where you would not think there was a lot of Middle Eastern Arab
Right.
Muslims.
Oh yeah, I heard about this. Like
There was a
somewhere
diner,
in Oklahoma. Go
a
ahead. Yeah.
diner that said they had a sign outside that said something "hunk for bacon" or something like that.
Okay.
And a Muslim woman was offended,
No,
and they
Fuck
took the
outta
sign down.
you kidding?
Yeah, so stuff like that.
What?
Yeah,
That restaurant's a pussy.
exactly.
You know, there's Obama's fried chicken down in Harlem.
Is there?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Where?
Well, if it's
on
in
Martin
Harlem,
Luther
it's
King
okay.
Boulevard.
If it was in the fucking Village, they'd say that's racist.
Swear to God, Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard.
It depends on
Obama's
who
fried
opens
chicken.
it.
Google.
Yeah, true. You know what? So that's a weird thing. Speaking of that, since you said it depends on who opens it, when it comes to doing sexist or racist things, or saying sexist or racist or homophobic or Islamophobic or whatever ist things,
Yeah.
it should be what is said that's controversial, not who says it.
It should be based on the intelligence of the person who said it. That's what I feel.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you could say that's a sexist thing to say, but because you're a woman, it's okay. I don't agree with that. You know what I'm saying? If something is sexist or racist or Islamophobic or homophobic or transphobic or whatever, it's the thing that is said, not who said it.
The implied I understand what you're saying completely, but the implied understanding is that person who says it, because they come from that grouping, it's assumed that that person understands whatever the struggle of that person is, so that there's some type of empathy. When it's said from someone who doesn't know shit about that particular group, it's said with zero empathy, hence being an ist statement.
Right.
I get it. I get it. I just...
That's all.
At the same time, I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you can't just assume that somebody doesn't have empathy or has not had no experience.
I totally agree with you.
With a certain culture or sex
agree
or
with
race or gender or
Totally agree
whatever ism you want to put in there, you know? But anyway, yeah. Back to the wedding for a second. Not this particular wedding I went to, but just weddings in general.
Yeah,
because that is one of the things.
Let's crack open the case of the week.
Yeah, let's get to the bottom of this. Scott Milan and the curious case of the American wedding traditions.
Let's do it.
Hey,
It was the mayor all along. Pull up his desk, freaking Scooby-Doo style.
Right.
This guy says he put.
It was old man Peabody all along haunting this place.
This guy says he puts a fishing pole on his moped. What does that mean?
Who says what? What are you looking at?
The chat. Chat's going crazy right now.
Is it really?
Heck yeah, it is.
Where? How
We
are you
got
seeing
Moonlit
this?
Altar and Johnny Vroom chatting it up, but
Let me get
come
into
on,
here
Scott,
real quick.
get with the program.
I'm sorry. I'm not in the chat. Let me just get in here. And while we're doing that, we're gonna talk about. See if I can talk and type at the same time, which I obviously cannot. So I apologize for that. Wow, we have people. We have people in the chat room. This is so exciting.
It's because we're putting up this shit.
Oh man. I don't own a fishing pole, which makes it terrible. All right, terrible Virginia. Are you a bad Virginian if you don't own a fishing pole?
If you're
I'm
below the
listening to
Mason-Dixon line, I'd say yes.
Really?
I don't know.
That's racist, Gypsy. You can't
Literally
say that.
based not on race. Nothing I said.
I know. Yes, you're really showing your geographical privilege here.
Right.
So, I guess we could call weddings, it's a custom. It's a cultural custom, rite of passage, maybe.
Yeah,
Would that
definitely.
be,
Right. Well, into what? Adult manhood, womanhood.
It's just
adulthood?
one of the things that we kind of do.
Definitely seems like a cultural thing. Well, it's religion is what puts weddings out.
Well, but not only religious people have weddings. We have justice of the peace. You can have a non-secular style wedding and all that stuff.
Well, I'm saying religion is the ones that is what created the wedding.
True.
Yeah.
That's where it comes from.
Right.
And and that's another thing is that we follow all of these things with having no idea where they come
something.
from or why we do them.
This is what I want. If you open up a Bible, does it give you instructions on how to have a wedding or no?
Yes, it does.
In the
you for
Bible?
Yeah.
I don't think in the Bible. I think it's in another Christian book, but I don't think it's in the Bible. I don't know.
Doesn't the pastor or whoever read from the Bible, like the wedding
well,
vows?
there's
does
the,
like sermon stuff for that.
Well, there's the Bible where they have the readings,
But I'm
like
talking about
readings of 2
instructions.
Corinthians. Love is patient, love is kind, right?
I'm talking about like step 1, go to the altar.
No, I don't think it's in the Bible.
Like, where did we come up with this?
Well,
stuff?
there is. I forgot the name of
You
the.
know what I'm talking about?
If I don't know, man. I wish this one. I wish Gadget Doc was here so he could make all of us feel stupid. I know there are like kind of books and manuals and everything. Not necessarily. It's not like the entire Bible is the.
That's for people that want to give weddings. They want to get their license or whatever to
to be
administer
ordained.
weddings.
Yeah. Okay, so now I'm finding out that I cannot talk and type at the same time. I just want to log in right here,
no, that's cool.
so I can get into this chat with all you cool cats in there.
Dude, I can't log in for some reason. Whatever.
Damn it.
All right.
Yeah, me neither.
No worries.
All
Tried
right.
enough. We'll figure it out next time.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. I'm in. All right, so weddings, we have this thing, right?
Yeah, what's
we do
going on?
all these things where we have no idea where these customs and courtesies come from, right? But we follow them anyway for whatever reason. And most of the time, it's because that's just what you do, right? That's just what we do. That's what everyone else does. Why not just do what everyone else does? Now, in my head, in my weird-ass freaking head, I guess, I would say anytime there's any kind of situation or ceremony or any act, and the best reason you can give for doing it is that that's what everyone else does, automatically we need to question it. Not saying automatically it's a bad thing. I'm saying it automatically needs to be questioned.
Right.
And if you're going to just automatically blindly follow without questioning it, that's an issue, I think. Especially when it comes to something like spending $20,000 on a rock for your wife to wear on her finger for the rest of her life when you could put a down payment on a house and actually do something
a lot of money.
useful with it.
And we talked about that already.
We did,
20,000?
and I have the video up. Are we allowed to show other people's videos on here?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so we have this thing. It's
Under the fair use
4
act,
minutes
we can.
long. I don't know if that's a long time to show a video for. Is it?
It is.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we could skip around to it and just kind of show.
Is it
the
in
intro
Dropbox
something.
or?
Oh, you know what? I have it up here. What am I doing?
You
Damn
can
it.
send me the link through Facebook chat if you want.
I can?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, so imagine this. From the time you decide to buy your girlfriend an engagement ring to the time you're coming home from your honeymoon, imagine how much time, effort, resources, and money, and stress, and all that stuff has been put into that one act of getting married, right? That one ceremony that lasted 20 minutes.
Yeah, a lot of work.
Between
lot of work.
buying a ring, planning, paying a wedding planner, whatever you got to do, having a engagement party, right?
Yeah.
Then a bachelor party, then a bridal shower, then which obviously the bride and groom don't pay for. But I'm talking about
Right.
collective everything. If we had to say how much money altogether went into this one act, okay, from everybody involved, bridal party, wedding. Bridal shower, bachelor party, rehearsal dinner,
The location. The
the
food,
location, the flowers, the food,
catering.
the cake, the catering, the DJ, the MC, the
Invitations.
right, the invitations.
Where you going with this,
the-
Scott?
I'm saying a lot of freaking money goes into something that lasts one day. Okay.
$50,000, if not more.
Yeah,
And
my
sometimes
buddy
way more than
got
that.
married, and he paid $20,000 just on the reception.
Okay.
Wow.
Now, all of this stuff going on. Now, I'm not saying I've been to some beautiful weddings, and for some people, it is very important to have a lovely wedding. Okay. And I'm not. If you honestly believe that that's what you need to do, then I don't have no quarrels with that. Okay.
Well, it's okay if you do have quarrels with
It's
that.
when you go. It,
No one's judging you, Scott.
Right. True. Okay, I'm sure many people are judging me.
Don't
right
worry
now.
about it.
But especially how many women are
Jeez.
judging me right now. To be honest with you.
Jeez.
But when you kind of go through
Hey,
all of that
hey,
just
hey.
because you think you have to, right? That's where it's like, well, you know how much really productive, valuable,
Well, dude, all
important
right,
things you
listen,
could have done with that time
I
and
get
that
what
money
you're saying,
and those
man.
resources.
Yeah, you're a little upset about this, the system that's been put upon us.
I'm not
in the
upset about it.
American.
I just-
you know,
I
you're
think- I
so
just question
concerned.
it.
And you're like, why the heck is this going on right now in America? Like, why is this happening? You want to know?
And anytime you feel obligated to do anything, especially when it's something so permanent, you automatically resist it. And I think that's almost an American cultural thing in itself, to resist someone telling you, you know, Greg, you have to get her a diamond ring, otherwise she's not gonna say yes.
And it sucks. Oh, but how about this? You buy a diamond ring for X amount of dollars, but how much are her parents paying for the whole wedding?
Right.
So, you know, if to every fray there is a fro, to every stop there is
True.
a go.
Well, and you know what? Here's the thing: is that so the whole diamond ring thing, right? I mean, it's to the point now where it's so deeply ingrained into our culture
Right.
and into our behavior that, let's say you don't necessarily believe in getting your girlfriend a diamond ring. She can absolutely
Yeah,
say.
but does she believe it?
Well, yeah, that's all that really matters, right? She can absolutely go, well, you know what? I'm going to go find a guy that will get me a ring and who will marry me, because now all of a sudden, since you won't do that one thing, I don't love you anymore.
Nah, man.
Or that means you don't love me.
Dude,
and now I'm
that's
going to...
the perfect thing.
Right? I want to have a ring, and I want to be married, and whoever can do that, insert face here, and that's what I want.
Scott, you're
I
not
don't
seeing
want you
the
necessarily.
light
I
here.
just want a ring and a ceremony.
Hello.
And that's
Hello.
where I have an issue with. And I'm not saying everyone does that. I'm not even. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Greg. I need to like cover my steps here,
okay?
just to make sure that people don't think I'm saying.
Are you okay?
That. What?
Yo, so listen, there's a good thing behind this. Say you tell her, like, listen, I don't really believe in engagement rings, so I don't want to do that, right? See how she takes it. If she pieces out, then good. You don't want her anyways.
So here.
And if she says, oh, it's okay, then boom, put the ring on her.
First of all, you're kind of sounding like you're giving me this advice. I'm not having this problem. So just so you know, this is not a personal thing for me at all.
Scott's all right.
I just sent you that link,
Wait,
Gypsy.
You're not married, are you?
Huh?
Are you married?
No, but I'm with somebody that I plan on being with for the rest of my life. Okay?
I wasn't saying it to you. I was just saying in general.
I don't have a girlfriend or anything, but there is somebody who would kill me if she heard me say that.
Sounds like a chain and a ball to me.
No. So, what was I saying? Okay, so yeah, so I have this little video here, and we'll just go through maybe like the first half of it. We don't have to see the whole thing. So it's kind of saying, you know, where this comes from. You know, for instance, I had a girlfriend before,
What was her name?
the one I have now, and she actually said to me, to my face one time, that when I do get her a ring, I better spend at least $15,000 on it.
Damn.
Or else that means I don't love her. And I was like, I've never spent that much money on anything in my life, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of
But you're gonna
better
spend
things.
it on her.
And then she was like, well, you know, if you're not even willing to do that. And I was like, wow, really?
Wow.
Really?
Well, listen, her parents are paying for the wedding.
Crazy. That is insane to me.
But it's easy for her to say because she's not paying for the wedding. Her parents are.
True. But
Right?
think about what a diamond ring is. It's at best, it's a symbol.
It's a big old hunk of
Okay.
pile of
At
metal.
best-
Precious stone, precious rock.
Is it precious?
Hunk of junk.
Not really.
Is it precious?
I know. We've learned that.
Let's
it's
roll
not
that video real quick.
Let's do it.
Come on.
Check
let's
this
do
out
it.
real quick. This is from College Humor. Adam Ruins Everything. I highly recommend watching it.
You've made me the happiest man in the world. Emily, will you marry me?
How sweet. You like it, so you're putting a ring on it. But have you ever wondered why we put diamond rings on things we like at all?
Oh God, you're gonna tell us the awful truth about engagement rings, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. Hi, I'm Adam Conover.
Hey, Adam.
And you may think of the diamond engagement ring as a timeless symbol of love, but it turns out this ancient tradition was invented less than a century ago by the De Beers Diamond Corporation. Before the 1930s, nobody exchanged diamond rings when they got engaged. It wasn't a thing.
Apple, what do you say we get married?
Oh, that's a swell idea, Frank. What do you give me?
Well, I got the shiny red apple.
Sold. Oh, I love you, Frank.
But in 1938, the De Beers Diamond Cartel launched a massive ad campaign, claiming that the only way for a real man to show his love is with an expensive hunk of crystallized carbon. And we bought that shit.
Now, hold on. Looks like if I don't buy you one of these ring dealies, then I'm a tiny pecked pencil neck.
Well, it's on the side of a building, so it's gotta be true.
Well, crumbs.
In fact, every element of the traditional American engagement was designed to make more money for De Beers. How much you drop on that rock?
I don't know, like $4 grand.
Jesus, Louises, that's more than your car.
My dad said the rule was 2 months' salary.
Yeah, sorry, dude. That's not a rule. That's just an arbitrary number from an old De Beers ad campaign.
Buy her a diamond worth 1 month's salary. She'll be sure to love you eternally.
Profits are down. Better make it 2 months.
This has gotta be the most successful ad campaign of all time.
Like
this is like
10%,
if in
right?
50 years people were
This one,
going,
Oh, honey, the same thing again?
Yeah, you know that old rule. Pizza in the morning, pizza in the evening, pizza at supper time. When pizza's on a bagel, you must eat pizza all the time.
Well, it's not like I'm throwing my money away. I mean, at least
Is
the
it
ring
good,
is worth
Scott?
something.
Yeah, that's good.
Actually,
All right.
diamonds
talk
are
again?
intrinsically
Yeah, we could
worthless.
talk
I
again.
refuse
So
to
we got the
believe that.
mics
Well,
back
maybe
on
you
now.
believe-
So yeah, so you guys saw that. Now that whole thing after that, he kind of gets into that. I wanted to watch that. Want you to see that first part because I don't know if I would do it justice. He was very comedic and dramatic about it. But after that, he kind of gets into how diamonds are really
Forever.
that too. Okay, and there's a reason why they came up with that too. So after that, he gets into how diamonds are not really worth a lot. They're actually diamonds are intrinsically worthless, and everything he says, he backs it up with a source that pops up on the screen. His source for that quote, "Diamonds are intrinsically worthless," is the De Beers diamond.
Said it.
The De Beers diamond CEO, the diamond company's CEO, who said, "quote, diamonds are intrinsically worthless."
And it's great because they go in and talk about how they artificially create the demand for the diamonds.
Yeah,
There's actually so many diamonds
They control
out there.
the market.
Yeah, they artificially restrict the supply so that you think they're rare and they're all this stuff, and it's actually a bunch of bullshit. And the American people got
we're
duped.
buying this crap.
And now it is so ingrained into our culture after only 80 years.
That's it.
Only.
Imagine what
years.
else is ingrained in us.
It's because of the internet.
How about this? Do you know why? Well, we'll stick with this for a second. 1 minute, I'll go to something else. But it only took. I mean, obviously, it's been around since we were kids and since our parents were kids. So it took way less than 80 years for it to catch on. Right. Now it's to the point where if you don't do it, you're weird.
Your
right?
girl said 15 grand.
Exactly.
Bam.
If you don't do it, you're a bad person or something. Like. This is ridiculous.
You're demonized.
Johnny Vroom just said a source triggered.
Well, how about people that just don't want to get married in general, that just want to live together for the rest of their life and have kids, and how awkward is it for them? What kind of pressure do you think they feel?
Well, I'm one of those people, and I personally feel no pressure.
Wow, good for you.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not there.
I don't know how you don't feel pressure,
Scott. I don't let it bother me.
How do you not feel social pressure?
I don't.
When all your friends are doing it.
Not all my friends are doing it.
I'm pretty sure all your friends are doing it.
No.
How many other friends you got that are living with someone else and not getting married?
I mean, probably more than I can name.
For real?
Yeah. I mean, not everyone gets married, man. Do you know the married people are the new minority?
Are you serious?
In
2000, everybody's afraid
in
of divorce.
2006, that was when the 51% of marriages ended in divorce. That was when it broke half. Now it has to be up to 56, 54, 55, 56, something like that.
I'm gonna look it up.
Right. And and here's the thing about that too is like we're talking about facts here. We're talking objectively about a certain subject, okay? But certain people, for instance, I was talking to I was at work earlier today, and someone said, "What are you going to talk about on the show tonight?" And I brought up this subject. I was talking to 4 people. 2 of them were women. Okay? 2 of them were guys. 2 of them were women. The reaction I got from the women was way different than the reaction I got from the guys. Okay? So it seems that around this subject and other emotionally charged subjects, which I don't know why this would be emotionally charged, people can't look from an alien eye point of view at this. Okay,
they can't look at it objectively at all.
Right, they can't look at it objectively at all. Okay. It's because I'm the one that's saying this. Right. Obviously, I'm scared of commitment, and I'm against marriage, and I hate marriage, and I'm a commitment phobe, and I'm never. Obviously, that's what's wrong with me, right? But no, that's not the case at all. I question things. That's it. I don't say I'm not gonna participate in them. I just question them, and I think it's weird that we don't question them.
Right.
There was something I was gonna bring up. You brought up, we were talking about the diamonds. You brought up something else. I said I'm going to get to that in a minute. Let me just finish the diamonds. Damn it. Coffee. Do you know, there's a lot of things, we're very easily manipulated as a society.
Tell us how.
Especially by marketing and advertising.
How?
Coffee, back in, I want to say 1920s, 100s, stuff like that. Coffee was for like poor people to drink.
Really?
Right? Yeah, it was like a low class kind of thing.
Wow. Okay.
Then I think it was something like that's when we got started trading with Colombia, and they said, "Oh my God, there's this really great resource down there called amazing coffee beans, and we need to figure out something to do with this." Yeah. So they hired a marketing company or an ad company, like Mad Men. It was probably like that back then.
Coffee beans,
and they termed the coin "coffee break."
Wow.
Okay. So back then, people would go on a break sometimes, have a cigarette or something like that at work. They coined the term coffee break. and people started buying coffee.
What?
Incredible.
Right,
Because
the
advertisers, bro?
average kind of person started buying coffee.
Are you
And people
serious?
Yeah, there's so many things that we do because of advertising.
Man.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, the ones that we even know now
Ooh.
are like, Easter with the Easter Bunny.
Yeah, Christmas.
Christmas.
Why do we go around collecting candy from people's houses on Halloween?
It's true.
Yeah, I mean, those that
came up
all
with this
stems
shit?
from traditions.
Oh, stop acting like you know where it comes from.
I mean, I know generally where it comes from. So there's. Oh, we have a call coming in. Johnny Kimball.
Yo, Johnny.
Johnny Kimball. We have a first caller, Greg.
Dude, I knew it was coming.
Johnny Kimball, you get a prize for being a first caller on Being Human.
What is that prize?
Yeah,
today?
Scott's going to give you a little something.
Greg was in the Navy, so he'll help you figure that out.
All right.
He'll give you a special something.
I missed the last 15 seconds due to lag.
Oh.
But
Oh, it's okay.
What we got, Johnny?
We'll catch
we
you
talk
up.
about coffee and delicacy. I am 2 miles from the New Hampshire coast, and lobster is still a delicacy.
Oh, my
when
Lord,
you
yeah.
go back 100 years.
Oh,
and
yeah,
you
it was.
buried lobster shells
Yep.
if you ate them because you were poor and they were bottom dwellers.
Yeah, they were bottom dwellers. Yeah. I remember hearing about that.
And
Okay.
it's the wildest thing because it's so expensive. It draws crowds like you would not believe.
Yeah.
It's tourism country because of this lobster
Yeah.
that used to be you had to be ashamed to eat it.
Rock lobster.
Yeah, and the same thing with, I think, that one thing that was floating around that said where the term piss poor came from and everything, and then a lot of people said, well, that's kind of just a myth and all this stuff. There was a whole list of, raining cats and dogs, where all those kind of sayings come from. And one of them was bringing home the bacon.
Okay.
Right? Because I guess back in the day, the more money you had, the higher on a pig you would be able to afford, right? So poor people, like I'm Puerto Rican, my family eats pig's feet, okay, which is the lowest of the low,
Right, on the
okay?
bottom.
Bacon, I guess, comes off the back, so it's more expensive. It's high on the hog.
That makes sense.
Which is where they said that's where the term living high in the hog came, right? So, and I don't know how much truth there is to this because I've seen on Snopes and all this that it was false, but it's interesting that it is possible that maybe less than 100 years ago, bacon was extremely expensive and it was only for rich people, and they kind of threw the pig's feet to the poor people in the street, right? So interesting things like that, how like things used to kind of be one way and then switched over to another.
Yeah, I think there's this perception that things have always been the same, more or less, forever. Like, there's, whatever. Christmas hasn't changed in 200 years. Meanwhile, it's only been here for 100 years. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think people's perception of
that's a
even
good
how long things have even been going on
Yeah.
are ridiculous.
Or like girls wearing pink.
Right.
Pink used to be a very masculine color. And back, not even maybe 50 years ago, baby boys and baby girls both wore dresses. Mm-hmm. Right?
Back in the day, men in Europe wore high heels. And it wasn't, now I'm being serious, they wore high heels to be taller than men, and then women started wearing them because they felt too short, and then it turned into, it's a woman thing,
That's
and
hot.
now only women wear high heels.
Yeah.
But if you look at all those like pictures and paintings of, Beethoven era and stuff like that, they all have platform shoes on. They're all wearing Prince shoes.
I was just gonna say Prince.
You guys ever try on high heels before?
I have.
No.
I'm not going to lie. I have. It's very hard to walk in high
Make you
heels.
You don't
Feel
have
good?
to lie about it. They're fucking shoes.
They make you
Yeah.
feel
Right,
make you
there are
feel
things
good?
that go in your feet.
I mean, I did feel sexy. I'm not going to lie.
Nice.
But I was stumbling around. I couldn't walk. You know what? You know what is funny, though, when you were talking about back in the time of Beethoven and everything?
Yeah.
Is you watch all these movies about, like, the 1700s and, like, colonial America and stuff like that. And you see these guys wearing knickers and tights and little pants and wigs and all this shit. And you're like, those guys look like such turds and tools and pussies.
And powdered makeup
They
on
were
their face.
fucking tougher than any of us could ever imagine to be, right?
A lot of them, yeah.
These guys were killing people with their bare hands,
They had-
standing in a line, just getting shot at, just saying, okay, take it like a man.
Dude, they had duels.
Yeah.
I mean,
And they dressed like
story.
pansies today.
They
right?
wore the powdered makeup on their face. And, oh, man.
Moonlit Altar says, I've cross-dressed once.
There you go.
Only once?
Only
Come
once.
on, live a little, bro.
I was actually at a summer camp, which was abutting a Russian hiking summer camp. Like, it was a group of Russian kids, and we come upon the pavilion where the picnic tables were one evening to a cross-dressing, like, full-blown red carpet style walk down the runway, a bunch of dudes in full dress makeup and it was horrifying to my 12-year-old self. But now I realize it was just hilarious.
Sounds like my kind of party.
Oh, man. All right, we're going to move on to our next little subject here. All right? I'm sorry, man. Tell me your name one more time. I'm being so horrible.
Johnny.
Johnny Vroom, right?
That's me.
Johnny
Yes.
Vroom. Okay, that's what I thought. There is another Johnny, isn't there, that always calls in to Frank's show?
He doesn't know. Johnny Vroom doesn't know. So what do you got?
I thought all you guys knew each
Just
other
me.
and shit, man.
I just know Frank through Frank.
Okay, so you can stay on the line if you want, man.
That's fine.
So we have this thing, history of weddings, right? The history of the wedding, where all these kind of wedding traditions come from. Now, again, this is from one website. I've heard these things before, so no one can really know, if they're true or where they really come from. But something such as the wedding party, having a wedding party, having bridesmaids and groomsmen. Do you guys know where that comes from?
No clue.
All right.
No idea.
So back in the
Come on,
day,
crap.
there was an era where we did marriage by capture. Okay? The
Wait,
groom and all his buddies would go kidnap a woman from their parents, and the groom would marry her. And that's where the groomsmen came in, because they would all get in a group and they would capture the woman so the groom could marry her. And then that kind of evolved into just being a tradition, having, groomsmen, and then to match that, they kind of came up with the bridesmaids.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is wild.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty cool. Wedding flowers, okay. This one I'm just gonna read.
Is there a particular area? Is this in England? Is this all
I don't
of Europe?
know. It just
or-
says during the marriage by capture era. Close friends of the groom to be assisted him. Yeah, I'm sure it's still going on in some places today. I'm not gonna lie.
Medieval, Renaissance, and marriage by capture.
Yeah,
right. The dark
Marriage by
ages.
I'd assume, like Braveheart times around then, right? Wedding flowers. Before the use of flowers in the bridal bouquet, women carried aromatic bunches of garlic, herbs, and grains to drive evil spirits away as they walked down the aisle. Over time, this evolved into flowers.
Gotcha.
Boom.
That makes sense. I thought they were saying because they didn't have deodorant and they were in these small churches and it smelled and no.
Well, I did hear once that it was because back in the day, people only took baths once a year.
Okay.
And most weddings were in June when it was closer to the end of
Springtime.
their bath cycle, so they smelled bad. I heard that before, but obviously we don't know.
That's why
this.
they could get away with the wool, because they just had a layer of grime over their skin, so it didn't itch them.
Oh, that's so sexy. Whew. Okay, let's see. The best man. This one's long. I'm just going to kind of skim through it. Many centuries ago, before the women's rights movement, men who had decided upon a wife often had to forcefully take her with him or kidnap her if her family did not approve of him. The tradition of a best man probably has its origin within the Germanic Goths, when it was customary and preferable for a man to marry a woman from within his own community. When women came into short supply locally, eligible bachelors would have to seek out and capture a bride from a neighboring community. So, yeah.
So an
as you
accomplice.
might guess, this was not a one-person operation.
It's an operation now.
Okay, the role of the best man evolved by 200 AD. His task was still more than just safeguarding the ring. There remained a real threat that the bride's family would attempt to obtain her back forcibly. So he needed to
Go figure.
I've also heard...
Weird. I'm surprised at that.
You can't
I'd
have
like
this
my
bitch
daughter back, please.
That's amazing.
I've also heard that the reason for having a best man was in case the groom gets cold feet. The best man would step in.
Really?
Which
That's
is why they wear the same
interesting.
thing. I've heard that. I never read that
That's
anywhere that hasn't
interesting
been
because,
fact-checked.
I would do that to a friend of mine. Like there's a line where it was like, listen, Dean, if you die in a car crash on your wedding day, we'll get it done. Don't worry.
Oh, here we go. Wait a minute now. This says diamond engagement rings.
Okay.
In medieval times, the groom would most often pay for the bride's hand in marriage. Precious stones were often included in this payment as a symbol of his intent to marry. While this practice eventually stopped, the gift of the precious stone as a symbol of intent remains today. So maybe back then it was a precious stone, then it evolved into just giving anything. Like we saw in that College Humor video, he gave her an apple.
Right.
So-
Weren't there times that they did animals, like livestock and shit? Like, I'll give you 50 goats for your wife and shit?
Well, I
or for
think
your
that
daughter?
happened in the Bible a few
Okay.
times, like with Abraham and his family. People were trying to, say, I'll give you this land and all this stuff for your daughter, or for both your daughters, or something like that. Wedding cake. too long. I'm not going to read that.
I have a question on one.
Sure.
Because I was like 12 years old, and it was a cousin's wedding, which makes it even more horrifying.
Wait, like two people who were related to each other were getting married?
Nope, just my cousin was getting married
okay.
to someone who was I think unrelated. Good question. I don't think they're together. But anyway, the garter toss.
Let's see if that's on
was
here.
The weirdest fucking thing. It was my first wedding. I was like 13 years old, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's not on here.
That's my cousin.
Yeah. I actually I had a similar situation when I was about 12 years old.
Sounds awful.
I was at a wedding, and there was this woman. I think 12 or 11 or maybe 12 or 13, and there was a woman who was probably 30 something, who was pretty attractive. She was a MILF, okay? To a 12-year-old, she was definitely a cougar.
What's a MILF?
Come on, bro.
What?
Come on. You don't even deserve to know if you don't know.
What is it?
It's a mom I'd like to
flirt with,
fornicate with. So
okay.
Anyway, so I mean, by a 12-year-old standard, she was a cougar, okay? And she was kind of like dancing with me because I was a cute little 12-year-old. But to me, I was like, oh my God, she's in love with me.
Yeah.
But she was a hot older woman, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get some. I was 12, and she was just felt bad for me because I was the only kid there or something.
Never know, but sure.
And then they did the garter toss and the bouquet toss, and I caught the garter, she caught the bouquet, and I'm like, oh cool, I caught it, and I go to sit down, and then they're like, no, you got to put it on her now.
What?
And I was like, what,
bro.
dude? I was mortified. I had no idea what. I ended up not doing it. I bitched out. I chickened out. You know what I'm saying? I could have got some that night probably if I did it.
You didn't chicken out. That is like
statutory.
That's like abusive. Like that's fucked up.
Nah, man, come on. I should have manned up and done it.
Yeah.
You're like 12.
So what, man? I was freaking dude. This was in the '90s when shit like that was okay.
It's true.
Come on, bro. We weren't coddled back then.
2010's fucked.
Oh man. All right, Johnny Vroom, we're gonna go take a quick break.
A little brizzy.
All right. Feel free to call back in if you want, though, because we're gonna be talking about something else that you might want to call in for. So everyone, feel free, please, because we're gonna get serious here in a second when we come back. Okay. So I'll see you guys in a minute.
Holla.
Bulletproof has always been about identifying and taking advantage of every single thing that makes people perform better. When you drink it, you just don't care about food. No cravings, no hunger for 4 to 6 hours, and you feel a kind of mental clarity that you probably haven't felt in years.
Have you heard of Bulletproof coffee? I tried it today. I feel pretty good.
Addicted to Ink, a proud sponsor of the Zaraza Entertainment Network, is Westchester's premier tattoo, piercing, and apparel destination, offering only the finest tattoo and piercing services as well as the best atmosphere you will find. Addicted to Ink is located conveniently at 38 Westchester Avenue in White Plains, New York, right across the street from the Westchester Mall. If you got the itch for more ink, like the Zaraza boys do, get your work done right. Visit www.addictedtoinktattoos.com for more information.
You're watching the Zaraza Entertainment Network on ZenLive.tv.
Good evening. Thank you for remaining with us and taking a break and coming back. And so I did not realize how fast this time went by. I was having so much fun tonight. We got to like one of the 5 things we wanted to talk about. But so moving on, and this is when I said we're gonna get a little more serious here.
We're gonna talk about dicks.
Gypsy, I gotta send you another link here, and I need you to fast forward to the 3-minute mark, okay?
No problem.
So I'll let you know when.
We're gonna talk about getting your dick cut up as you.
Yeah. So one of the things that is actually kind of serious now. Now we're getting a little more serious here. That actually I do have a problem with, and I do feel needs to be stopped. Is things like circumcision. Now, there is a movement, or a few movements, that are trying to end male circumcision. We already know female circumcision is not allowed in the United States. Any kind of alteration of a female genitalia against her will is completely illegal. It's barbaric. It's, other countries that do it, they're trying to stop it.
What do they do in other countries to chicks?
Was that? What was that?
What do they do in other countries to chicks?
Depending on the custom and the religion or the culture that we're talking about, sometimes they remove the entire clitoris. Sometimes they remove the hood from the clitoris. Sometimes they cut up the labia, which are the lips, right, just to make it look a little better. Sometimes they actually close the hole altogether so a woman can't have sex.
What the hell out of
So
here.
there's varying
Dude, what
degrees of
happens
it.
when she gets the woman's cycle going on?
There's varying degrees of it.
Tell me they close the whole
people get
cycle?
infections. It's bad.
You're bugging.
It's bad. Now, it's important to note that, you know, when you're talking on a apples to apples comparison here, female circumcision is more invasive and dangerous than a male circumcision. On a moral ground, it's the same thing. It's wrong, okay, to do this to someone against their will when they're a baby with no anesthesia or anything like that.
Yeah.
You know, strictly like
I'm
moral,
pissed.
like why do you do this, okay? Now, where does it come from? Where does circumcision come from? Well, back thousands and thousands of years ago, Abraham, who was had the first family of the book of Genesis in the Bible, made a covenant with God. Abraham was Jewish, one of the first Jews. Made a covenant with God. Him and God made a kind of pact, almost like blood brothers do. Remember back in the day we used to do blood brothers? Except they said to each other, let's cut our penises in half. And that'll be what all of your family does from now on. And that's how you'll know you're my followers. Abraham had two kids, Ishmael and Isaac. Ishmael and his mother, who was not Abraham's wife, got banished into the desert. God kind of said, you know, you're not going to stay with Abraham, but I'll make you your own great religion. And that's where Islam comes from. But at that first starting point is a very common starting point, right? So Muslims and Jews religiously, that's where circumcision comes from, okay? Now, fast forward thousands of years, how did it end up on us? How did it end up just being an American thing, right? Well, one person would say that back in the 1900s. Do you know the whole story behind the Kellogg cereal guy, Gypsy?
Who's that?
I don't.
All right, so I don't remember his first name. The guy who invented Kellogg cereal had kind of this, like, you know, super Christian, you know, anti-sex boot camp that he would run to kind of cleanse people. And he had this nutritious oat brand cereal that he would feed to people to kind of cleanse them of all their dirty deeds and shit. Yeah. And one of the things he recommended was circumcising people so they wouldn't masturbate. Okay, and they wouldn't grow hairy palms, and they wouldn't go blind because that's what people used to think.
Kellogg.
Yes, there you go.
Serious?
So that's what people thought would happen to you if you masturbated, is that you would go blind and it
until
was
they
horrible
invented
before you go to hell. So now, if they thought that not being circumcised would make you want to masturbate more, they could have been right, because in a foreskin does act like a clitoris, right? A foreskin gives you kind of more play, almost like a natural lubricant for sex. It also has a lot of nerve endings in it, so it makes it a lot more sensitive. You ever notice a lot of porn stars are not circumcised? Right?
I don't really notice that shit.
Yeah.
You must watch a lot of porn.
No, not really. So
I know what you mean, Scotty.
anyway, so people who are not circumcised do have a better quality of sex. All right? In general, obviously, we're talking here. Now, here's the thing. I am going to show you guys, because this is how important this is to me.
Oh, no.
And I'm going to have to warn you ahead of time, okay?
Shit,
because
dude.
I might cry. I'm probably going to cry.
fucked.
I have a 5-month-old son, and I refuse to get him circumcised. I might get a little teary-eyed here.
Oh my god, I don't even fucking know. Oh
This
my
is going to be a video of a baby getting circumcised.
Dude, what?
I'm going to show you guys. And I have to look away. So this happens with no anesthesia. This is some graphic shit.
No!
All right? Now, I honestly believe that if every parent had to watch this happen, within 3 years, circumcision would be over.
Fuck that.
Nobody would get this done, okay? Do you hear that baby fucking screaming and crying? This is horrible. This is terrible. I don't even want to sit through this whole thing. All right, let's turn it off. I can't do this. I can't do this. Okay. So that's the first 30 seconds.
Frank, you missed it.
Put it up there again. You want to put it up there again, Gypsy? Did you close it already? Show Frank. Frank, this is a video of a baby getting circumcised.
I don't want to do this.
This is how important this is. We have to show horrible shit like this. So that we stop doing this barbaric shit to fucking little tiny infant babies that are a couple days old.
Now,
right?
me, guys. I'm still sad over it.
Now, here's the thing. Why do we do this? When given the choice, sitting in the hospital, okay? Sitting in the hospital. You're not Jewish, you're not Muslim, all right? I know I'm not. I don't think any of you guys are Jewish or Muslim, okay? Now, if you are, and this is a religious thing for you, then to each their own. Then I mean, I can't, I have respect for the people's religions. If sitting in the hospital, a doctor says to you, congratulations on your new baby boy, do you want to have him circumcised? And you're thinking, well, his dick should look like mine, and all the girls I know that are 30 years old that are never going to have to worry about having my son's penis in their mouth said they would like it if he was circumcised. So yeah, I guess I should. No, you're a fucking idiot if you're going to make that decision just based on what you think other people will like. Let me tell you something. When I had this conversation with members of my family, okay? Now, I'm circumcised. I was going to say, obviously. You guys aren't looking at my
obviously,
tiny little...
you can see my dick.
I know. You're not looking at my tiny little pee-pee right now. But I'm not circumcised, okay? I mean, I am circumcised, sorry. I didn't have a choice, obviously, right? My parents, I got held down like this, obviously. Now I don't remember, okay? I don't know if you guys or not. You can share your own stories.
Dude, this...
All right? Now, given the choice... I wouldn't have gone through with this, all right? And when I was talking to people that I'm related to, I'm talking about people that the youngest age in the room was 30, okay? Yeah. Men and women, my cousins, and I said, it came up somehow, and I said, I'm not getting my son circumcised. I'm not doing that shit. I'm not fucking, I was, dude, and we were all drinking too, so it was rough. I got surrounded by about 7 people.
What happened?
And yelled at and told, you are fucking crazy. He's going to get made fun of. It's so much better that way. Fucking women that I'm related to that are like in their 40s were saying, oh, I like it better that way. I would prefer it. And all I can think is, you are not going to have to worry about playing with my son's dick. So I don't see that as an argument. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey,
I'm sorry.
This is one of those things I never even really had an opinion on until recently. And to be honest, to each their own. I'm one of those guys now that's just like, I'm pro-choice with a lot of things. I'm pro-choice with this as well. I just know that my choice is not to do that to
if it was your own choice, though,
no,
as an adult.
It's weird that
do you think somebody should be able to do it to an infant?
No,
I don't think so.
Hell no.
Okay, now there are different studies. So I'm on this website, right? So being intact means you're not circumcised, right? Okay, and hilarious. I love this fucking name. The activists that are trying to end circumcision are called intactivists. Oh God. Okay, so I have on intactamerica.org.
Stop.
And there's a lot of different like organizations and websites you can go to see this stuff. There's like a little 7 things new parents should know about circumcision, and I'll just go through the I'll go through the headlines. I'm not going to read the things. 1, there's no medical reason for routine circumcision of baby boys. No, it's strictly, I would like my son's penis to look this way.
It's religious and or aesthetic.
Right. And you know what? Most of the times, if you're not Jewish or Muslim, it's not religious. So I'm sorry. It's aesthetic, or it's because you just think that's what you're supposed to do. And this goes back to one of those things. Remember I said before, buying a $15,000 engagement ring without even questioning it. Okay, that's one thing. Removing half of your son's fucking dick that he was born with just because you think everyone else is doing it and you would like the way it looked with no anesthesia when he's screaming like that and fucking choking on his own vomit because he's screaming so much. Okay, and you're doing that and you're not even gonna question it. You're gonna say, oh, of course I'm getting him circumcised, and you don't even question it. That to me is absolutely insane. That is ridiculous. That is irresponsible.
It's inhumane.
It's inhumane. It's barbaric.
And I like what you were saying before. It's for people that aren't even gonna fucking see it.
Right.
It's for people that don't never see
it. Why are you going? How is the quality of your life going to be knowing that my son's dick is to your liking?
Right.
And how does this improve everybody's quality of life in the room?
Now, part of the thing is, so number 2 says times and attitudes have changed. So in 1981, about 81% of males were circumcised. Today, it's about 55%.
It's going to keep dropping.
The doctor that delivered our baby, she asked us, and I said, how many people actually do it? She said less than half, maybe not even
I bet that number
a
will
third.
be cut
The only
in half.
reason why she had a lot of circumcisions was because, and they don't even do it in the hospital, was because there was a lot of Orthodox Jews in the hospital. Columbia Presbyterian, a lot of Orthodox Jews go there. But they don't even do it in the hospital, so they don't have to do them. And when those kids are born in the hospital.
And you don't get anesthesia, but what if you elect to have the circumcision when you're older? Do you get anesthesia then?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? Even if you didn't, that's your choice.
Yeah, because you're
We're talking
older.
about doing it
Do your
against
thing.
someone's
And
will.
I had a friend who was uncut, and in high school he was starting to think about getting it circumcised. Ultimately, I don't think he did, but he used to stick Christmas light bulbs in his forehead, in his foreskin. He would start pranking us with his dick all the time because he knew that his was different.
That's awesome.
Hey, we turn around sometimes if we were in a room where there was like Christmas lights on. He would somehow find a way to put one of the bulbs under his foreskin, so you turn around and it looked like E.T.'s finger just glowing. Oh, great stuff. Good time. High school, that's what you do.
This is just like, I mean, and you know what? Arguments in favor of circumcision for a baby is, well, they're not going to remember it.
But why did you do it in the first place?
That's one of the arguments I've heard. They don't remember it. It's painful, but they don't remember it yet. Okay, so let's try this. How about if I sit there and start pinching your fucking baby in the arm and you start making him cry? Oh, he's not going to remember it. Is that okay? He's not going to remember it. He's not going to remember. Would any other thing, when your baby starts screaming and crying because they have a stuffy nose or for any other reason, when do you ever say, just let it go because he's not going to remember it? When do you ever say that?
Never.
But for the most painful thing that he is going to go through in his life for a while,
nerves, cutting through nerves.
Okay, you're gonna say, well, he's not gonna remember it. When actually these people from Intact America, they actually have these studies and statistics saying that as young children and adults, men that get circumcised against their will as kids, it actually does do something to you, right? When you have that kind of you hit that threshold of the worst pain in the world that young. It's kind of like you have a little bit of PTSD after that.
No, but you desensitize the penis too.
You do, yeah. So that's one of the things here. The foreskin provides protection and sexual pleasure.
Because I'll tell you something. There's nothing. It just goes to show the intelligent design of our bodies, especially as a guy. If you're going for a jog or walking around, the chafing that could happen. It's like built-in protection against an external organ that is going to be, knocking up against things and all that shit.
Yeah.
I told you guys. Oh, I probably didn't tell it here, but I told that story about that terrible pair of bathing, that terrible pair of swim trunks I had down in Myrtle Beach in 2006.
Yeah.
Fucking portobello mushroom.
Yeah. I've had that happen.
Destroyed
at the beach. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
portobello.
This is just something like we need. Some things, if you want to go along with it just because that's the thing you want to do, you might have guys like me saying, hey, you should really question that. But for stuff like this, guys, I mean, like I said when I was kind of on your show tonight, I said, I had a dog once. He was a boxer, and I got his ears cropped. And people were calling me a fucking monster and barbaric and everything. But then they wanted me to chop my son's dick in half.
3 days after they're born. It's just welcome to the world. We're going to cut your dick off.
Right.
And you got to figure, I don't mean to cut you off, Scotty, but your DNA remembers shit. Like your mind, your memory remembers shit, even if you don't remember it in your conscious.
Absolutely.
So I'm curious to know. We probably will never know because you never know how it formulates and comes to fruition in real life or later on when you're older. But I'm curious to see if it plays out and if certain men are less empathetic to other people because they've had such aggression put on them so
there
early.
are studies they do with that, so there are numbers on that kind of stuff. And one of the things is that because foreskin kind of provides you with more nerve endings and more sexual pleasure, what happens is, and this is the same for women who get female circumcision, okay? They get their clitoris moved. They can't feel the same kind of sexual pleasure they would be able to with the clitoris or with the foreskin. So what happens, they end up making up for it in quantity instead of quality. So men and women that have been circumcised, in general, I fucking feel like I have to always say that, in general, are more sexually promiscuous than people who aren't circumcised.
Interesting.
Because they're going for quantity instead of quality, right? So it's just one of those things. Another thing is that when you're a baby, so there, you know, there's such thing as a tight circumcision or a loose circumcision. A loose circumcision is when they clip the tip and it kind of leaves a little play in there, a little bit of a foreskin. A tight circumcision is when it's completely gone, always head exposed, no matter what.
Oh,
when you
they gave me a tight one.
When you get a boner, it's completely exposed, like pulled back all the way, right?
Yeah.
So
they gave me
what
a tight
happens
one,
is
all right.
you don't know as a baby how big a kid's penis is going to be when they grow up. So a lot of times when these men grow up, they have tight circumcisions, they grow up and they have extremely excruciating, painful erections for the rest of their life. Lucky for me, my penis has been the same since I was an infant, the same size. So I got lucky with that. But guys, I mean, final thought, we have like, what, 30 seconds or something, right? Final thought is that this is the kind of stuff we need to question, okay? This is not a judgment on anybody, obviously, but it's the awareness that can kind of change things like that. This is something I would like to see ended, all right? And I firmly believe that, remember we were talking about how little things can change our behaviors, like they invented the term coffee break, and they made us drink coffee. They kind of said diamonds are really worth something, and they made us fucking want it. Well, how about making a rule that you have to be present for your son's circumcision? You have to be there in the room. Within 2 years, you think we'll still have circumcision?
No.
Gone.
No, gone. No, what do they say in Game of Thrones? Ned Stark, he who passes the sentence must swing the sword.
Ooh. So if you say it, you got to do it.
Here's the thing about the funny thing that humans do. They delegate rights they never had themselves to somebody else to do to others. Right. You can do that with taxation. You get anything else. Do you have the right, or do you have the ball to do this yourself? No. Somebody else can do it.
Right.
Yep.
Like, no. You for this?
I like that.
Go for it.
Yeah. Exactly.
He who passes the sentence should swing the sword.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have run out of time. Handsome Greg, good time, Greg.
That's it.
It's been real. Thank you so much. Frank, thanks for joining us. Gypsy, you're the man. Thank you for your engineering. We are out until next Wednesday night. We might even pick up on the circumcision talk a little bit again and kind of finish it up because we ran out of time tonight. Thank you for watching, everybody in the chat room. I love you guys. We are out. Peace.